Hey guys, welcome to Arlington, Virginia, just across from Washington, D.C. You can see that in the background. And there's a plane coming into Reagan National right now, making lots of noise. But we're at the Iwo Jima Memorial, the U.S. Marine Corps Memorial, here in Virginia. And I just thought I'd do a HAPS broadcast, HAPS/Periscope, as we're nearing the final days of Periscope's life. Periscope is going to shut down at the end of the month, so we figured we'd bring you out somewhere I haven't actually taken you guys in a long while. Hello. So, you know what, let's just cut through the grass. It's a nice day. It is a very nice day. It's about 73, 74 degrees here in Washington, D.C. And we're gonna go for a little walk today. Hello, London. Welcome to Washington, D.C. $80 degrees in Virginia. Yeah, it's going to be a lot warmer soon. So I'm trying to get my other camera to cooperate. Hello again. So written around the side, etched in, is all the battles of the Marines from the Revolutionary War up until the fights today. You can see down here some of the more recent battles of the U.S. Marines. Lebanon in '58, Vietnam, Dominican Republic, hello, up into Panama. What was that, Operation Fury or something? Persian Gulf, the first Persian Gulf War. Hello, Isaac. It's a windy day today. It's going, yeah, this is an iconic statue. It's going to be a lot warmer and windier. Oh boy. So over here we have some more recent battles. Somalia mission in 92 to 94, Afghanistan 2001 till pending, and Iraq 2003 pending. So they have not finished this memorial. Nor do I think they ever will finish this memorial, as we will always have a need for the Marines. Sorry about that. My other camera was being a mess. Am I done with Periscope? Well, no, I think I'll go into the last possible instance, I think, but we're all going to be done. I'll be using HAPS TV. You can download that at haps.tv. I'll be using YouTube, which is Penguin 6, and Twitter, Penguin 6, and even occasionally Twitch, the Penguin 6. Woo, it is windy and windy. So I'm going to take you guys for a little walk. I think we're going to walk over the bridge today. I think we're going to walk over into DC. I'm not sure how long we'll stay online with HAPS, but we'll go over towards the Netherlands Carillon, then over to Arlington Cemetery, and then we'll start our hike. So there you go, one last look at the Marine Memorial. And let's head out. Those little babies over there. Our final destination, I think, is the cherry blossoms, but I'm not sure I'm going to make it all the way live. Hello. So we're going to walk over towards Arlington Cemetery. We can't actually jump in directly. You have to go through security, and I don't feel like doing that. So we're going to kind of make our way around Arlington and then cross over into the district. We're in Virginia right now. Yeah, there's a lot of space on that memorial. Now there is a new museum, the Marine Corps Museum, or the Museum of the Marine Corps, and that's down in Quantico. That's about 45 minutes from here or so. But it's closed right now. And they have something that looks kind of like that, actually. The Marine Corps Museum, this is Arlington County. The Marine Corps Museum is down in like Oh, Fauquier or Prince William, something like that. One of the farther out counties. Now this is the Netherlands Carillon. This is a bell tower that was a gift from the Netherlands, but it's under renovation right now. So right now it just looks like a construction site. Ooh. I don't know if you guys can hear the wind. It is very windy today. It's going to be ridiculously windy later. Might damage the cherry blossoms, to be honest. Yeah, so this is the Netherlands Carillon, Arlington Cemetery, and the Metro. Now the Arlington Cemetery subway station is currently closed due to repairs, so we can't really subway out of here. We have to walk. The plan is to walk over towards the Jefferson Memorial today, and then I'll probably grab a bike, a rental bike, and bicycle back over to here. Then I'm going to grab some Vietnamese. There's a lot of good Vietnamese food in Arlington County. After the Vietnam War, the U.S. government relocated a number of Vietnamese government and military families to Washington, D.C. area. They opened a variety of Vietnamese noodle shops and other places, and you can get some really good Vietnamese food here. In fact, there's a whole strip mall called the Eden Center that's a Vietnamese shopping mall. It's got some really good food. Maybe we'll go out there sometime. Okay, on that other side of that fence is Arlington Cemetery. Microphone's being weird. Okay, so we gotta walk past this freeway for a bit. This is kind of annoying. Yeah, Fort Myer is up behind me. I can't film it because it's too far away. But Fort Myer is where the 3rd Infantry Regiment has the ceremonial units that do all the drill teams and all the funerals, all the presidential service type stuff. That's an Army unit. It's up to my right. I'm going to drive by it one day because you can see the horses. I believe this section of the cemetery is Civil War. I'm not entirely sure. I think this was the different sections of the cemetery are different times of battles. There you go. Let's get up over this. And most of these stones look about Civil War era, maybe World War I. They're pretty old. They're not the World War II style of tombstones. These gardens of stone, as I think they're called. So we're going to walk down the road here. Oh, there's a bike right here. Somebody abandoned an Uber bike. Now I think it's every Christmas, the Boy Scouts come out and Boy Scouts and volunteers will come out and put wreaths on every single stone. And then I think on Memorial Day and Veterans Day, the military, again with volunteers, comes out and puts an American flag on every single stone. Interestingly, there's a couple dozen foreigners buried here, including one Chinese soldier who nobody really knows who he is. They think his name was misspelled on the tombstone, and they're not really sure who he is. They think there's some speculation that he could have been a high-ranking Taiwanese nationalist Chinese soldier who is like a liaison officer here, but nobody's really quite sure. No one is really quite sure who that guy is. There's also British and I think some French. Not sure who else. There is space for more graves, but actually there's not a lot of space. It's a concern. They've had to expand Arlington a few times over the last couple decades, taking over what is technically Navy, or I'm sorry, technically DOD, Defense Department property. And I think they just recently took over some land from the Navy or the Defense Department for expansion. But that said, there's a huge backlog to get in here. I mean, we're talking months-long waits for veterans who want to be buried here. I think if you die on active duty, you're buried pretty much immediately. But for those veterans who are passing away, there's kind of a wait list system. It's kind of crazy. These look more World War II like graves. Ones we're more familiar with. Hey, thanks, Tim. Ooh, it's windy. I don't, yeah, there are a few burials here. I know that there's like some memorials for like the Iranian rescue mission, but I think that was mostly Marines. There are this Challenger and Columbia space shuttles. Joe Louis, the boxer, was buried here, though I don't think he actually served. There's a very strict rule, but it can be waived by presidential order. So we're going to make our way up over to the Memorial Bridge. Then we're going to cut over to the Lincoln Memorial. More dead scooters over here. This is a temptation. You see, there's like a break in the bushes right there. Yeah. If I walk straight, I can cut through those bushes, but I don't know if there's a fence there. I don't think there's a fence there. Let's cut straight. Otherwise, I got to loop around this traffic circle. I'm not one for big loops. It is warm today. It's in the mid-70s today. So we're going to cut up here. After living in Hong Kong so long, I'm really hesitant about walking through the grass just because of, well, you know, the snakes in Hong Kong. You never know if you're going to step on a cobra or something when you go off the path. Hell, even on the path you run into snakes sometimes in Hong Kong. Okay, so we'll cut through these trees. That worked. And up over there, that's an entrance to Arlington Cemetery and the Curtis Lee Mansion. But we're going to go the other direction today. We're going to go over Memorial Bridge into Washington, D.C. 。 Shuttle bus to the Pentagon. Oh, that's nice. So since the subway is out, they have a shuttle bus. Because of COVID stopping so many tourists, a lot of facilities that service tourists are undergoing renovations a little bit earlier than planned. So museum renovations and like embassies, for example, well, they're speeding up the renovation plans. Oh, it is windy. Guys, this ain't gonna last the rest of the day. Yep, there it goes again. They're gonna need to cut some more holes. I don't think these things are gonna make it. Yeah, I almost stepped on a snake in Hong Kong when we were going to some of those World War II battlefields. He was on the stairs, and I was coming down the stairs, and then he just like, whoop. I was like, whoa. That one, and because that was, I think that was a banded crate, which is a poisonous, venomous snake. So I was a little bit concerned to come across that one. This, I believe, is the Seabees. Yeah, this is the memorial to the Seabees, the construction battalions of the U.S. Navy, who build their way across the Pacific in World War II, building runways and docks and all that. John Wayne made a movie, of course, The Fighting Seabees. So let's go across this bridge. Hope these bikes are at the other end. We'll be able to ride a bike back. So our plan is, let's go over to the Lincoln Memorial. We got to cut through this field though. Now, if I remember, this field is filled with geese, so I'm a little hesitant about walking through this. More planes coming in. Let me figure out which way I want to go through this field. I think I want to go on the right side. It is a very nice sunny day today. It's about 73, but with the sun directly on me, it feels a lot warmer, to be honest. I'm wearing a t-shirt and a very lightweight jacket. Hang on a second. Get across this intersection. I'm near Reagan Airport, Reagan National. Dulles is out in Virginia. So this is the national airport, the aircraft that you see coming overhead. They only fly, they basically service airports east of the Mississippi River, with a few exceptions. But generally, National Airport is a East Coast regional airport. So you can get to Chicago, you can get to St. Louis, you can get to, actually you can go about as far as Houston. There's a few flights to the West Coast, but generally it's smaller planes. It is, however, incredibly convenient. I mean, you're 10 minutes from the White House. I mean, you literally walk out of the taxi, you know, like National Airport, less than 10 minutes, you're at the airport and going through luggage check. So, I mean, it's just really convenient. But nothing's more convenient than this field, though. This field actually is not a field. This is a landing strip. This is the official arrival helicopter space for foreign dignitaries. So the President of England flies into Andrews Air Force Base. The President of the United States loans him a helicopter. He flies into Washington, D.C., and he lands on this grassy field where he's met by the Secret Service and the Park Police, and they give him a motorcade across Memorial Bridge into Washington, D.C. Pedestrians walk on Pennsylvania Avenue in front of the White House. In normal times, yeah, but right now, no. Right now, Pennsylvania Avenue is closed. It's been closed pretty much since George Floyd over the summer. So, Hang on, we're coming back in front of people again. There's a boosted scooter here. Yeah. He's flying, that guy. So we're gonna cross over this lovely old bridge, Memorial Bridge. Recently renovated. I mean, like, just, I think actually for the inauguration is when it opened. January 20th is when they officially reopened the bridge after about 2 years of repairs. Hello, Gwen, how you doing? It is a beautiful day today. Mid-70s, not many clouds. And we're out for a little walk. We're going to walk over the Potomac and make our way into the city. We'll pause for a moment just to let you look at the scenery. Yeah, we're on the last days of Periscope. So, but there's new options. There's Haps, there's YouTube, there's Twitter. I'm Penguin6 on all those applications. So, if you want to see live streams, you'll keep seeing them there. It is a pretty wide river, but it's not that deep, I don't think. To be honest, there's no boats right now, which is a tad bit odd. Maybe because it's so windy. I think there's probably a small craft advisory because of the wind. We're anticipating winds of like 50 miles an hour, gusts up to 50 knots later in the day, which is pretty crazy. What's that, 100 kilometers? Something like that. This is not the bridge that the plane hit. The plane, the 14th Street Bridge Air Florida crash, was the next bridge down the river there. I'm going to take you guys there in a few weeks when we get biking again. We'll go over there. But this is Memorial Bridge. So the 14th Street Bridge is down there. That's where the plane hit. This is Memorial Bridge. Then the next bridge is Teddy Roosevelt Bridge, and then the next bridge is Key Bridge. And then there's one final bridge called Chain Bridge, which is pretty far away. We're starting to get some cherry blossoms. Just a few. It's still going to be another few days. I think after this weather, we'll have a lot of cherry blossoms. This is why walking in DC is kind of annoying. There's so many cars. You know, when I walked in Hong Kong, it was almost peaceful. What else do we have today? At 6 o'clock tonight, President Biden departs for Delaware. That's likely to be a helicopter, Marine One. But if the weather is bad, they may have to find another option. No, not yet. I'm not old enough. So this used to be a drawbridge. In fact, I think I'm coming up on the drawbridge section. It doesn't work anymore. So this section here is what they had to replace. This used to be a drawbridge that could lift up, but that is no more. That was the section that was rotting out, basically, the drawbridge section. Yeah, you can see here on these pictures, these were the old mechanisms to lift up this section of the bridge. Now it's just one piece of cement. Hey, Happy, how you doing? welcome to HAPS, but we also broadcast on Twitter and YouTube and Periscope. Try to keep as many platforms as an option as possible. What is odd is that we've walked this far and we haven't seen a helicopter. DC is filled with helicopters. Usually one will fly over us on this bridge. It's going to be a very nice weekend. Get through the chopper, yeah. Ooh, it's windy. I have no idea why they're walking with suitcases. These are either Instagram models or very, very lost tourists thinking that they're heading to the subway. Hello. Wow, it's windy. I think once we get into the mall, the wind will die down a bit, which will be nice. Well, here's a photograph, by the way, of John F. Kennedy's funeral as it crossed over this bridge. They also had like the Tomb of the Unknown Soldiers, I believe, cross this bridge to their final resting place. Oh, well, some of you guys like planes. We'll show you this plane coming in. So there's like little lights on top of this bridge that beep for the planes to try to guide them into Reagan. Oh, he's getting pushed a bit with the wind. That was almost like a drifting turn. American, I think. American Airlines. Whew, there he goes. This bridge is very artistic. Yeah. Very, very beautiful. Hey, Chantel, how are you? Guys, Chantel TV is in the broadcast. Chantel TV shows you Paris every day. If you follow her on HAPS or YouTube, CHANTAL TV. Bonjour, Paris. Is it cheap to fly Reagan to LA? There's only about 1 or 2 flights to the West Coast from Reagan, so you have to fly to Dulles usually. This airport is generally just for East Coast flights. It's a regional airport, sort of. Hello. Very warm here today. It's about 22, 23 Celsius. Very windy though. Anticipating like 80, 90 kilometer per hour gusts later today. It's already getting windy. It is a little bit early for the cherry blossoms, but we're gonna see a couple, I think, but they're not at full peak yet. So you are seeing the Lincoln Memorial, for those of you who don't recognize that building. Oh, and the wind died down a bit now that we're not on the water. That's peaceful. So this is a circulator bus. These are free buses that run around the city like every 10-15 minutes. Yeah, actually guys, if you broadcast on HAPS, they actually pay you money. If you do 4 broadcasts over 4 weeks, you can get 25 bucks, which is pretty cool. So if you want 25 bucks and got 4 weeks, just do 4 broadcasts. Anyway, follow the links and you'll find out more yourselves. So let's make our way around to this memorial. Then we're going to go over, let's see, we'll go by the Korean Memorial, the Martin Luther King Memorial, the FDR Memorial, and then probably the Jefferson Memorial. Just a day of memorials. So the cherry blossoms are down about a quarter mile over that way by the Tidal Basin. I took a look yesterday. They were kind of pink, which is sort of stage 4 of 5 stages, or 4 of 6 stages. 6 being the ultimate peak bloom. But I think stage 5, hang on a second, there's another car coming. Stage 5 is the big white puffy bloom. I think stage 6 is the pink. And then it goes to green. Everybody likes the white and pink. Nobody likes the green. Yeah, there used to be a limit on flights. There still is technically a limit on flights to Reagan, but they have a lot of exceptions, like a dozen or 2 dozen exceptions to let some flights go in. The congressman pushed some of those exceptions so they could fly home from National instead of Dulles. Hey, thank you, Chantel. Well, the cherry blossoms get asked about a lot. So is this guy gonna let me go? Yeah, he's gonna let me go. So over there is the Lincoln Memorial. And we'll go over the reflecting pool before making our way over towards the cherry blossoms. Ooh, it's hot. It's actually warm now. I'm actually kind of warm. It is going to be a nightmare later today with this wind. It is the beginning of spring. So there is our Lincoln Memorial. There was an I Have a Dream speech was given over there. I think I showed you in another broadcast, this is the only building to fall under fire in World War II. An anti-aircraft gun misfired and actually hit the building with a couple rounds. And then over here is the mall. Oh yeah, Chantal, I'm hungry actually. That's probably why I'm walking so fast. It's pretty peaceful down here. The tourists are actually coming back in some pretty big numbers. So the Vietnam Memorial is down that way, and the Korean Memorial is over here. We're going to pass the Korean Memorial. They're actually renovating the Korean Memorial. They're going to add the names of all the fallen soldiers to the Korean Memorial, so it's kind of like the Vietnam Memorial. Inside the building is a giant statue of Abraham Lincoln, and then etched on the sides is the Gettysburg Address and his second inauguration speech, I believe. A lot of you ask why people are wearing masks outdoors, and that's because it's the law. The federal government signed a law pretty much day one of the Biden administration. They had to wear a mask at the monuments. This is the scene from the movie Forrest Gump. He was out in that reflecting pool trying to find Jenny. So up here is the Korean Memorial, and they actually got some renovations going on. I wonder if I can sneak around. I'm not sure how much construction has started. We'll go in. You see some blossoms. I see them too, but I'm not entirely sure if those are cherry blossoms or dogwoods. The dogwoods come out about a week earlier than the cherries, but we'll go over and take a look. And then like different variations of cherry blossoms. So like the ones that we have here come from Japan, and then there's also like an American variation. And you know what? I think I can't get over to that. I think, well, let me just show you the Korean Memorial. These are the on patrol in Korea. These are all Army guys, but I think there's a Air Force officer and a Navy corpsman somewhere in here. Now I know the Air Force guy has got a different hat. And the Navy guy had some like pack. One was like an aircraft spotter, and one was like a corpsman or something. All right, let's go around this. They're expanding the memorial to include all the names of the fallen. And let's go find these blossoms over here. I don't know if they're going to let me in there though. I may have to go around. Yeah, we'll figure it out. This is one of those easier to ask for forgiveness than permission kind of events. Unfortunately, these blossoms are surrounded by construction gear, but we'll try to get closer. I do think these are dogwoods or something. Hello, Mark. We're down at the Korean Memorial next to the Washington Monument. And yeah, these are not cherry blossoms. I think these are a different tree. You can see the flowers here. I don't know my trees enough. They are pretty though, yeah. So we're gonna sneak. How can I cut across? We'll go through the old police stables. So the park police has stables over here where they keep their horses, their mounted division. Some of their mounted division. Yeah, we can cut through this park. Magnolias, okay. You guys are the better tree experts than me. So those are magnolias. Oh, they put up these fences up here. DC is all about fences right now. So they've got these crowd control fences for the cherry blossoms. They want to keep everybody away from the cherry blossoms when they're fully in bloom. So they pre-position these fences everywhere. And we've got to get around them. We call them bicycle racks because they look kind of like bicycle racks. I want to see a barn life. I do occasionally go hiking in the countryside out by some barns. All right, we're going to make our way over to the real cherry blossom trees. They're right over there, about 100 yards away. This will just take me less than a minute or two. They are not in full bloom, but they're getting very close. I see quite a lot of whiteness on some of these trees up here. Now, with this very warm temperatures today and tomorrow, we're likely to see peak bloom, Monday at the earliest. I will be back. I don't know how much I can show you. This weekend's gonna be nuts down here. It'll probably be really beautiful, but I have no doubt they'll lock it up. The big issue is the winds tonight. Sometimes the winds come in and they blow all the leaves away. I mean, it's just a fact. All right, so this is the Martin Luther King Memorial just over across the street. And the light just turned red, so let's do a slight jaywalk to get halfway. You know what, we can do the whole road. No, they're coming. We gotta run. So if we run, oh great, there's one biker. All right, so there's a lot of cars coming down there, but we'll beat them. All right, we're safe. Woo. And here we go. Here are some cherry blossoms. These are actually new ones up in this section because when they redid the Martin Luther King Memorial, they planted some, but they didn't plant the Japanese type. So these ones bloom a little bit earlier, like a day or two earlier. So these are already hitting the white stages before going to pink. Try to get the camera the right way so you can see them.
Yeah, oh yeah. Yeah, it is big. Oh, River North.
There you go. You should be able to see the whole tree, all white. Hello, Copenhagen. Welcome to Washington, D.C., where you're looking at the cherry blossoms next to the Martin Luther King Memorial. They are, but we're going to go down here where the major collection of trees are. There's about 1,000 trees down here along the water. These big boulders are the Martin Luther King Memorial. That's where we're going to walk through now. And we'll walk over out of the mountain of despair, stone of hope. And up there you can see Martin Luther King. We're going to wait for this tour group to leave. And then over here,
I bet you like.
you can start to get into the cherry blossoms. Let's see if I can turn this around. Here we go, these are in the light. They are Japanese. These are Japanese cherry blossoms. These were a gift from the government of Japan in 1910 to the United States. The United States sent our dogwood trees to Japan, but they were mostly torn down in World War II. Then some cherry blossoms were vandalized in World War II as well. So for my HAPS users, I'm going to sign off. I'm carrying 2 phones right now. I'm going to keep filming for YouTube a little bit. We'll go over to the Jefferson Memorial. But thank you guys. Check out haps.tv, HAPPS.tv for live streams. I'll be over there. I'm going to also put this up on YouTube in 4K. So if you want to see everything that we just saw in full 4K, check out my YouTube channel a little bit later today. Thanks a lot, HAPS guys. See you all soon. But YouTubers, guess what? We're still here. We're not going anywhere.
Oh no, it's awful. The summer here is terrible.
So these trees are more a different variety than the Japanese cherry trees, and as a result, they're slightly more bloomed.
Ready? 1, 2, 3.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you. Here, you stand up here.
Stand up where?
Now down here, the trees, these are the original trees, are down here, and the original trees are still a little bit behind the bloom. So they're pinkish, but they're not the brisk, bright white that we just saw. There's a few of them that are white, but by and large, most of them are kind of pink. So let me take you on this little path over here. We will come back here in the next couple days. See what we can see, if we can come back. You know what? We're actually going to go the other way. I'll take you over by Roosevelt. Hang on a second. Put this phone away. There's a bee. Yeah, I think when they built the Martin Luther King Memorial, they had to take away a few trees, but they planted a bunch more, so it was a net positive. But the ones they planted were a slightly different variation, which is why up in there it's all white. And down here with the original trees, we're still in the pink stage. Not quite fully white yet. But it's coming. It's coming. So we're going to make our way over to FDR. Now, in non-COVID times, cherry blossom time is basically the start of spring. Families will come out here to watch the sunrise up over the blossoms. They'll have picnics all day. There are literally hundreds of thousands of visitors. It is and it's kind of a tricky thing because you can't. It's really one of the things that the locals in DC get to take advantage of more than people from other parts of the country, because you got to just time it just right. And it's hard to time it just right. There's a big fish out there. They tried to have a big parade and everything, the Cherry Blossom Festival parade, but like 1 out of 3 times it actually coincides with peak bloom. And the other times it's always off about a week or so. So people come and they're like, what? Wait. Alright, I gotta make noise because this guy thinks that his music is more important than my YouTube. This is a very popular place with photographers. They come out here and spend hours taking pictures, some of which may end up in a postcard one day. If they can sell just the right photo, they can get a postcard. It's interesting, I actually have a video from the cherry blossoms 2 years ago. I never released, I just never got around to editing it. But maybe this year I'll put it out, especially if they block our access to the mall. We'll probably bring out that old video so you guys can see what it looked like in pre-COVID times. Now they used to have a fence here, but people objected to it. They thought it was prettier without the fence. Trade-off is, well, a few people fall in, but it's really not that deep. So the FDR Memorial's over there. I'm going to take you down though first to see the blossoms, and then we'll go back into the FDR Memorial. God, it's blue. You know what? I gotta take a picture of that. Sorry. Ah! And look at that. It's just so blue today. No? I think a couple of the trees down here have gone into bloom. But most of these trees are still a couple days out. This one's pretty bloomed. This tree is in bloom. I wonder if this is the other variation. Let me see if I can get a close-up, because some of you guys want to see a little better than this camera can produce. There we go. So we'll post these more close-up photos in the broadcast. And let's make our way up to the FDR Memorial. Oh, there's some steps over here. Easier than walking through the mud. So this is actually a tidal basin. The waters come up the Potomac. The tide rises up in the Potomac and the water gets shunted over into this catch basin. And then when the tide comes out, the water is shunted out the other direction, down the Washington Channel. Though it does still flood occasionally. Some of the areas over by the Jefferson Memorial are simply too low-lying and in danger. And a couple of trees have been flooded out and destroyed. Not quite sure what they're going to do over there. So we're kind of right in the middle of the FDR Memorial, which chronicles his 4 different election campaigns, basically. And there's a statue of Eleanor Roosevelt over here. Now, in the summer, there's the big fountains that go off here, and all the kids love to jump in. Rangers are constantly yelling at them, this is not a swimming pool, but it's like 100 degrees, and the kids are like, I don't care that it's not a swimming pool. It's hot. So, first United States delegate to the United Nations, Eleanor Roosevelt. Let's make our way around the different parts of this. I don't even know where FDR's statue is. It's at one side or the other. I don't think it's on this side. I think it's on the other side, but we'll go this way. A few cherry blossoms back here. Yeah, this section is about World War II and war. We must be the great arsenal of democracy. And down here, I believe, is the Depression. And another cherry blossom. Down here, I think, is the big section on the Depression. The economic situation in the 1920s and 30s. And the New Deal. Yeah, I think it's right over here. On the other side of this wall is a bread line. Okay, so let's see, where am I going to head to? I'm going to head to the Jefferson Memorial, and then from there, look at getting a bike. The Civilian Conservation Corps. So, anyway, this week and next week, all the kids are on spring break in the schools in the DC area, which is cause of great concern because kids are flying off all over the place and the schools are kind of freaking out. At my kids' school, the kids are tested regularly. And I think all the kids have to get tested before we go back. In April, we're going back to 100% in school. We've been doing a hybrid model, 1 week on, 1 week off, but after spring break, they're going to try to go full-time, every class, every day, which a lot of parents are very excited about. Here we go, is a statue of FDR in his chair, and of course his little dog by his side. FDR suffered from polio, I believe, and was kind of in a wheelchair, but you never really saw it. He always had his sons at his side to brace him, and the press kind of had this unwritten rule that you didn't really show him as being in a chair or anything like that. He could stand on occasions and stuff, but it was very, very difficult. Okay, so let's make our way over to Jefferson, and then we'll go find a bicycle. There's also some Japanese shrines that were donated. Not really shrines, but little memorial-like markers. There's one right up here, and there's one on the other side, like a bell, I believe. Oh, it's pretty white trees down here. Here's the little marker. Presented to the city of Washington from the mayor of Yokohama in 1957. Now we're getting into low tide area. Low treelands. One of the advantages of hiking now is that if I hiked later, I would probably lose my hat. In fact, my hat has been fighting me all day to stay on my head. You know, it looks like some of the Jefferson Memorial has been cleaned up versus just, about a month or two ago when we were over there, and there was a lot more scaffolding on top. You couldn't quite see as much. Another cherry blossom in bloom, that one. There are some low branches. I would ride my bike around here sometimes, but you get clotheslined. I mean, these low branches come down, and then you dodge one, and you put your head up, and then you're like, oh, I'm going to die again. Let's watch as his head gets disconnected from the rest of his body. Now he'll probably make it. Probably. And duck. Yep, he ducked. Oh well, sorry. I thought that would be kind of fun to see. So we're going to go over that way, and then we're going to go in the Jefferson Memorial. Oh, you can actually see the U.S. Capitol in the distance today, down Maryland Avenue. Yeah, but you can see the water that's pooling up here from high tides. bridge. Oh, you guys are asking about the 14th Street Bridge. Let's step over here for a second. So the Air Florida disaster, when an aircraft took off from National Airport with too much ice on its wings, and it crashed into this bridge. It hit the bridge. It took off a couple cars, killed some people on the bridge, I believe, and then it went into the water. Now you see that other little bridge over there by the Pentagon. That's where the rescue effort was taking place. So if you watch the videos of the helicopter, you see that tiny little bridge in the background. But the plane itself actually crashed into the major bridge. Now, in addition, on that same day, 2 subway trains up by the Trump Hotel, which is called Federal Triangle, 2 subway trains collided, killing, I believe, 8 people in a mass casualty disaster in downtown DC. So, in the middle of responding to the Air Florida disaster, which everybody in the nation was watching on TV, DC had another disaster where people died in a horrible, horrible train crash. I can't remember, was it 4 or 8 people? There was a mass disaster situation, mass casualty situation. These are more magnolia trees. And there's a couple cherry blossoms. And that's me tripping. If you have friends in Washington, D.C., their Instagrams will be filled with cherry blossom photos very, very soon. It is kind of common. That's not a cherry blossom, that's something else. So you can see the crush barriers are up. They definitely don't want us here next week. Last year they just canceled the whole cherry blossoms. No one was allowed to come down here, no one could park, no one could walk. This year people are a little bit more, well, cabin fever, and I think they're going to kind of revolt a bit. So they're coming out with the crush barriers and fence lines. We'll try to find some way to show you some cherry blossoms. I happen to know where there's a couple groves that'll be open. Not necessarily down here, but we'll find some. Here's a bike garage. So these are the city bicycle program. These you have to dock in a dock, which is kind of annoying. Whereas the other bike programs you just abandon on the street, no matter where you are. Like the Ubers, you can just ditch. In fact, there is an Uber collapsed here on the sidewalk. Let's see. Let's see if this Uber is available. No, it's not going to let me rent it. There's a couple Ubers on the other side of the memorial we can go for. Let's walk on the street. There's nobody in the cop car. Let's go over to Jefferson. Looking back, you can see the Martin Luther King Memorial over there on the other side, just that cement standing out there. So that's where we started walking on the Tidal Basin. But I think we'll go over here now. We could get a scooter. I don't know if we'll take the scooter to Virginia though. It's a long ride. And because we're in this like geofence area, the scooters misbehave down here. There are a couple bikes over here. That's a good sign. I think I'll take you in the Jefferson Memorial. So the paddle boats aren't open. Paddle boating on the Tidal Basin is kind of the thing every little kid wants to do when they visit Washington. I want a paddle boat. I want a paddle boat. I remember riding out here when I was a little kid. I haven't taken my kids yet. I think I will. As soon as that opens up again, I think we'll do that, especially with my younger one. He's still young enough to enjoy it. I'm young enough to enjoy them doing all the paddling and me just sort of sitting on the boat. Pedal boats, not paddle boats. I don't know what you call them. Wow, the last time I was here, I was the only person in the entire memorial. Don't think I'm going to get that luxury today.
The only worry I have is that he doesn't really listen. You know, I just feel like he doesn't know.
It's still under construction a bit. Oh wow, more fences. Here we go. You guys can pause if you want to read it. This is from the Declaration of Independence. And then his general conversation on God, fate, and business of the state. So that's the Jefferson Memorial. The dome now been fixed. So this memorial had to be fixed because it had too many bugs. The bugs were coming at night because they turn on the lights at the memorial. The moths come out. Because the moths come out, the spiders come out. Because the spiders come out, the wasps come out. And all that process of eating and chewing each other put down this icky film of dead bug goo, which was rotting away at the top of the Capitol, of the dome. So there you can see the White House and the Washington Monument. I'm going to tell you what, I'm going to take a break here, guys, and I'm going to go try to find a bike. So let me just leave you with this shot for a moment. We'll try to come back in just a few moments, see if we can find a bike. And away we go on a noisy bike, because, well, they're all noisy. But let's make some progress. Ooh, is it windy? God, these things are loud and annoying. Sounds like it's gonna die. Just a little bit of WD-40. Maybe I should carry WD-40. Let's go down this way. There's a pretty bike path down here. Everybody's pristine, peaceful enjoyment of the cherry blossoms, and then this guy comes up on this bike from heck, making all sorts of noise. Whee! Oh, one thing, I don't need a bell. I think I have a bell. And I think the scratchy sound is sufficient for getting people out of the way. Oh boy. Let's go over here. Along the waterfront. Woo, windy. Oh, chunk. Couple cherry blossoms down here. Alrighty. This, by the way, is a statue to the inventor of the propeller, the visionary man who came up with the first screw propeller. And no, I can't remember his name off the top of my head. John Erickson, that's right, John Erickson. And no, it didn't just come to me, I just read it on the side of a sign there. My kids love to do this. Dad, you need to lose.
Wait.
Dad, you need to lose.
Wait. Wait. Wait.
Yeah, my kids love to taunt me with this thing. Because that's just what kids do. Their bikes are quiet. My bike's not quiet. My bike sounds like death warmed over. I want to go, I want to go.
Wait. 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 Wait.
Here we go. Oh, I got this one, but I don't get the next one. I don't care. I'm going for it. So, we are going to take this bike over to Virginia. Now, I can take the bike to Arlington, but I can't take the bike to Alexandria, which is another city across the river, because that city hasn't done a deal yet with the bike companies. Oh, this is weird. That's kind of sus. Must be an Uber guy. They let me go. So there's your Lincoln Memorial where we were about an hour ago. We're going a lot faster this time though. So I've been swearing for about the last 3 minutes as the bike has entered a hell no, no-go zone and basically locked up. It's like the brakes are on 100%. I just have to get over this bridge. If I can get over this bridge, I'll exit the no-go zone. Oh man, this is a workout. I just need to get over this bridge. Just, there we go. Whoa! It just kicked on. Whew. The geofence. Oh, what a pain. I'm dead. A hiker. The Cuba War veterans. Whew. Alrighty. Making our way back through Arlington now.
It's coming.
Heading back to Iwo Jima. Or we could actually park the bike at Iwo Jima. Then I think we're gonna get some lunch. Ugh. What an annoying bike. I just have to slow down. That was a fun downhill. Up ahead is the area known as Roslyn. It's a lot of big offices. The ban on tall buildings that applies in DC does not apply in Roslyn. So over here they build buildings, well, really tall, kind of like an edge city. Now, as fun as that was going downhill, now I gotta pay for it by going back uphill. So we go back to the memorial. These bikes are battery powered assist, but still, uphill is uphill. It's not like you can just flip a switch and go full battery mode, which would be nice. Not quite. Alrighty, let's go back into the memorial area. Okay, we are back where we started. And I'm gonna sign off, guys. Thanks a lot for watching. It's been a long day. Subscribe, like, comment, share, all that sort of stuff so more people can see parts of DC. And I'll see you again pretty darn soon, probably this weekend. Bye now.